There she is. All right. So, X-Men. Not even once. I have a problem, and the problem's name is Cable. Cable's like he's like standing out too much. There's like Andy kind of drew this like bounce light in the gloves, and I think we gotta lean into that. I think we gotta like just push Cable way back into space so that Cyclops becomes the focus. We need to start, instead of thinking of it, when I started this, I thought of it as like cityscape zip tone background. This was blank, and then like the wedges of equipment and strong guy, they were like the next level of background, and then like Cable, Cyclops, and Psylocke and Nightcrawler were like the second level, and then Wolverine in the extreme foreground. And I think what's actually going to happen is it's going to go from closest to us to furthest away. It's going to go Wolverine and Rubble, then it's going to go Cyclops, then it's going to go everybody else, then it's going to go Strong Guy, then it's going to be the background. I think because like the problem is that I'm not getting a good like silhouette on Cyclops because like the armor of Cable's weird armor arm is interfering with this like being a solid silhouette. So we're gonna try to fix that today. And with fresh eyes, once again, working on this thing, a little bit tired, a little end of the stream, and I'm like, something's not working, can't figure it out. Close the stream, open it up for today, and I'm like, oh, I know exactly what to do. So we're gonna try to do that. Fresh eyes always helps. Although I am going to try to finish this coffee before we get started. Been reading a crap ton. So I made a mistake regarding the world's second finest podcast, by the way. I was like, I'm gonna. So every week with World's Second Finest, we read the mainline Bat books of Batman Detective Comics and Shadow of the Bat, and then we read the Batman Adventures book, and we talk about those. Jason and I, my co-host, and this pod coming up, we're doing the annual, and then we're doing like a Knight's End, Knight's Quest recap. And then Knight's Quest, Knight's End is over, and Jason was like, you go immediately from Knight's Quest, the Batman event, where Azrael is like Batman for a while. You go immediately from that event into Zero Hour. And I was like, well, I'll just read all the Zero Hour books. I didn't know there's like 30 Zero Hour books. They all came out the same month. I don't know what DC was thinking. It's like an insane amount of comics for an event. And I feel like most of them are going to be like, hey, check out this Hawkman issue. It's got Hawkman from different time periods. Well, see you later. It's not going to be like pertinent, you know? So, but I don't know. So I'm going to read them. This is okay. 30 comics, not a big deal. For me to read in 2 weeks, not a big deal. But then Jason was like, hey, we should both read Doom Patrol as well, and both bring Doom Patrol to the to read pile. And I haven't read Doom Patrol, so I'm like, fuck yeah, let's read Doom Patrol. And it's like the Grant Morrison Doom Patrol runs like 40 comics. So I have basically like 70 comic books to read for the next time Jason and I get together beyond the annual. So I got 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Yeah, we're just gonna read all of Doom Patrol. Well, we narrowed to the just the Morrison, or at least I am only reading the Morrison stuff. I think Jason started reading some of the old I don't even know if it's Golden Age. It might be Silver Age, Golden Age, I'm not sure. Started reading the old Doom Patrol stuff, because he's read the Morrison stuff like over and over and over again. I told him I was like, the only Doom Patrol stuff I've read is the newest stuff, the Gerard Way stuff. But I liked it. It was good. And then I read the first 4 issues of the Morrison stuff already. And it's good, but it's like, it suffers from that thing where like, if you're into like a piece of media, like I've seen the television show, so a lot of this is like, oh, this is like 80% the television show is the Morrison run, you know? So I'm like enjoying it, but I'm also like, I kind of know what happens here. I don't know. I don't know. I'm sucking down this coffee, and then I realized I'm going to have to go to the bathroom. I planned this poorly, is what I'm saying. So I'm going to happily read a bunch of Doom Patrol that retreads all the television show I watched, and then I'm going to unhappily read like 30 issues of Zero Hour trying to make desperate sense of that event, which is impossible to do. I've seen 3 videos on YouTube of people trying to explain what Zero Hour is. Nobody did it in a coherent way. And I don't think that's the fault of the YouTuber. I think that's the fault of the event. I think the event is just incoherent. But anyway, let's get into Cable over here. Okay, so like I said, I think we just got to push Cable back, like way back. It is a lot of comics. Usually I can like eat comics. Like I will read and read and read like no problem. Like it's nothing. Big comic book pervert over here is what I'm saying. And I don't know that I'm gonna really be able to do that well, because I started playing Dragon Quest Treasures, the new one on the Switch. It's very good, and it makes me want to play it all day every day. There's is this metal? I kind of made this like this brown padding. I think that might be metal actually. So let's Dragon Quest Treasures is really great, but it's like chill as fuck. Like it is not a game that like you play and then you're like having an action-packed thrill time. It's a game that you play to just like chill the fuck out, which is true of like most Dragon Quest games. Most Dragon Quest games are very, very chill to the player. It took me, God, like 4 hours just to get out of the tutorial for Dragon Quest. It was a little bit of a I mean, that's kind of Dragon Quest again. Okay, so we gotta push him back. Let's throw a highlight on this thing. But the reason I want to play it over and over and over again is because it's so chill that it's like, it's one of those games where you're like, I'm gonna do this one last thing and then I'll be done. And then you do it and you're like, okay, just gonna do this one more thing, and then my play session's over. And then you're like, well, that was a good hour of gaming, and you realize like 2.5 hours went by. It's Dragon Quest Treasures is like that. At least it is for me. Like most Dragon Quest games, it takes a little while to get into, but once you're in, man, you're hooked. Okay, he's looking a little bit better, but we're gonna push him back further than that. we're just gonna grab this whole area except for Wolverine and Cyclops. We have, through our flats, been able to kind of deselect these guys very easily. However, Wolverine's like weird pointy hat. It's a hat, right? I mean, I guess it's a mask because it's over his eyes, but it feels more like a hat to me. It's an oversized, his weird pointy oversized hat that goes down below his eyes. We gotta kind of carve that out. I was saying in the Discord, Back for Blood went on sale, and I was like, "Hey, Boix Cam, do you wanna play Back for Blood? Do you want to stream that?" And they were like, "Yeah." So I bought it, and then I realized, oh God, Shannon's playing Stardew Valley on my. She's moved from my Switch to my Steam Deck, and I'm like, I can't play Back for Blood if Shannon's on the Steam Deck. She's gonna want to play Stardew. She is, by the way, clocked roughly 500 hours into Stardew Valley. Now when I ask her a question where I'm like, hey, what's this thing? She's like, you don't know about that? Like, that's how deep she is. All right, what is this layer? Oh, that's his little eye flare. Okay, let's do a new layer, set it to screen. Don't Back for Blood. What? Why not? Rooftop Tango. I saw it was getting some bad reviews. Like, people were saying that it's like unsupported and like the developers abandoned it and blah blah blah. But like, I kind of don't care. Just replay Left 4 Dead. I'm getting bullied for being a casual gamer. You're not wrong. And you know what? It's fine. It's totally fine. All right, so we pushed Cable back a little bit, and I feel like I like it better. I'm having a better time with Cable pushed away. Although, what if we just set it to normal? Yeah, buddy. Because I want this to be like the brightest point. I want like around Cyclops' like neck here to be like the brightest point in the thing. Thought Back 4 Blood looked like a fun game you buy for super cheap and only play for a few weeks. Exactly. The replayability isn't there. It's clunky design all the way through. I mean, we're probably going to play it and come to the same conclusions, but we're still going to play through it once. I don't know. I thought it looked good. I don't know. We're going to try it. I hope we like it. Here's the thing. This would be the second first-person shooter that I've suggested that we play, and it feels like I keep suggesting games that are not great. I keep like wanting to try these games where I'm like this looks fun, and everyone's like, don't do it. It's one of the few games for small co-op. It's true. You wish me luck and maybe some alcohol. I think that sounds like a prudent course of action. Man, by the way, we're having crazy wind here, and I hope it doesn't knock out my internet. If I suddenly am not live anymore, that's why. I'm hearing the gusts that are happening. You wanted to love it. You're always looking for a good co-op. Man, so am I. Like part of the reason why I kind of lost steam with Boix, Cam, and I were playing like a lot of co-op games, and we kind of lost steam because we were like, we wanted to keep playing co-op games, but there weren't a lot of co-op games to play. Like, it just, there just isn't a lot out there. I wish there were more games out there. All right, let's figure out what we're doing here. Especially not with co-op story campaigns. Yeah, that's what we want. We played what was it? Strange Brigade together. And it was fine. It was fine. Wasn't anything to write home about, but I enjoyed it cuz I got to like play it with them in co-op. And like it's just weird that that experience is like it's not really a thing. It's not around. Man, I kind of want to just be like, heck, Andy Kubert, let me take the wheel and just start like drawing over his drawing a little bit. We might end up doing that at the very end. I don't know. We'll see. Lots of stuff like Destiny, just kind of empty shooting stuff. Yeah. Yeah. Boix and I got we like foolish fools. We decided we were going to play uh that terrible D&D game, cuz how bad could it be, right? How bad could it be? Turns out real bad. Um he we played what was it called? Dark Alliance. We started playing that and we were like, "Oh, this game's awful." And then we had subscribed to a month of PS Plus. So we're like, we'll find something else to play that's multiplayer. And it's like, it's all kind of like shooters. It's all Destiny kind of stuff. That model. And we were like, I don't care about any of this. None of this is for me. Okay. Remember how I was like, well, I don't know. I was gonna be like, remember how I was like, give me the wheel, Andy Kubert, but we're not gonna go there yet. We're not gonna go there yet. I don't know that we need to do anything to Cyclops. He might be kind of done. Maybe work on the hand a little bit. Yeah, I have the problem with a lot of like modern co-op shooty games right now is that they're modeled to be like, hey, you're interested in playing like a modern shooter? Have we got the game for you? Don't play anything else. Like, you're gonna play this for 500 hours, and that's not the experience I'm looking for. The experience I'm looking for is like a 40-hour in and out game, you know? Okay. We're getting there. We're getting there. It already looks better. We're going to turn this stuff red to kind of give it a more cohesion. I'm going to go to the bathroom like I initially called when I sucked down that cup of coffee like an idiot. Like an idiot. So I'm going to be right back and we'll continue with this. I guess we'll work on Strong Guy next or Psylocke. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Okay, we're back. I think that was the coffee was the culprit, but also got some Thai food today, and I made the mistake of this is the thing. We I got the food right. I got some curry, and I was like, once I received the curry and I sat down to eat it, I started laughing to myself, and I was like, I never learn. And Shannon was like, "What?" And she was like, "What?" Uh, I was like, I always order it too hot. It's always too spicy. I down before the stream. I downloaded, I downed like a water bottle and a half of like the water that I was drinking. This giant thing. Uh, so I think that also contributed to the fact that I had to go to the bathroom. I literally never learned. I go in there, and it's mild, medium, hot, or Thai hot, and I'm like, well, I'm a white kid, so I don't want it. I'm not like I don't have the fortitude to handle Thai hot. Like that's off the table. But I'm like, but I do want it spicy, so I'll go hot. And I never learn. I should go medium. Literally never learn. What's up, Eric? Eric, we're getting our X-Men on. No giant woman today, just a giant strong guy. Let's work on strong guy. He's got to be pushed back the furthest from everybody. We're gonna see if we can manage to do that in a interesting way. I think also everybody's skin tones like feel a little too warm, just like a tad too warm. My favorite character of all time, strong guy. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Can we just select skin tones? I think we can. Yeah, there we go. Man, I'm working on, like I said before, I'm working on a 100-page graphic novel. Ilion, thank you. What's up, man? I was just saying that picked up Back for Blood to play with you guys. You still haven't purchased it. It makes me nervous. You still haven't purchased Back for Blood. Boix and I have, and I'm like, is this gonna be a Boix Nick Phil joint, or is Cam gonna come in here? I don't know. You're getting to it. Okay. Well, it goes off sale on the 20th, so I was like, am I gonna have to buy this for him? I don't know. I don't know. Everybody in my chat just told me never to play Back for Blood, so that's the boat we're in. The boat of self-harm. Back for Blood is dead. It is dead. That's why it's the perfect time to start playing. Right? Right? Gamers? Right? Oh man. I don't know. We played Undead. Yeah, yeah. I don't know. We played what was that? What was that terrible video game that all of us wanted to destroy at the end? Dokapon. We played Dokapon. It can't be worse than Dokapon. Did you know they're remaking Dokapon for the Switch? And it's getting yes, I do know that. Nobody played Dokapon. That's a real game that no one should play. You think you want to play Dokapon? I thought I wanted to play Dokapon. There was a time when I was excited to play Dokapon. For as old as it is, Left 4 Dead is still a smoother game. I believe it. because Left 4 Dead is incredible. I can't tell you how many hours I've clocked into Left 4 Dead. Um, Especially the first one. Whew, it was like a revolution when it came out. You know, there was just nothing else like it. Now there's a lot of imitators and stuff, but man, at the time I was just like, this game is perfect. Man, thank you for the host, by the way, Ilion. I gotta start getting better at remembering to host people when I leave the stream. There's been a few times where I've left the stream and I was so concerned with promoting like whatever else I have going on that I'm like I forget to do the host thing, and then I'll get off stream and then Boix will be on or something and I'll be like, I should have really just hosted Boix. I'm a fool. By the way, if you're a fan of Ilion's stream, you know that he has a podcast called Rough Cuts, and I was just on it talking about Godzilla 98. It's a good discussion of a bad movie. Hey, Madam Adversary, what's up? Are you trying to drop links? Because I don't think that's allowed. Oh, it was a clip. Huh. Man, I'll tell you what. It was just a clip of you saying I was excited to play Dokapon. Yeah. Yeah. And then I played Dokapon, and truly that was where everything went awry. You know, for taking out of context later, yeah. Uh, that's what I hear, Eric, that the animated series of Godzilla is like actually really good. It only ran for a season. There's like I guess 2 episodes that like got made and just never came out. Just didn't get traction in the US. The animated series. Um it makes me kind of want to check them out. There's a Netflix Godzilla anime that is awful. It's like 3 movies. It got lost in the wave of Pokemon Mania. I believe it. Pokemon is an unstoppable force. Um, yeah, I watched. Before, since I'm so used to doing homework for my own podcast, before I had started doing the rough cut stuff, I knew that like we were planning on doing Godzilla at some time in the future, and I had watched Godzilla 98 previously, and then I had watched a bunch of other Godzilla stuff. But I watched I couldn't find that animated series, but I watched the 3 movies that are like they're like animes of Godzilla is unstoppable, so humanity has left the Earth, and then they come back because they ran out of resources in space, and they're like, maybe Godzilla's dead now, but he's not dead now. He's not, and it's a really good idea for a show, and it's just the most boring. It's just boring, man. The Jet Jaguar anime that they made too. I don't know who made that. Somebody made that. Same kind of thing. Just like techno babble gobbledygook, like the whole way through through the show, to the point where you're like, I don't understand what's going on. At least that's how I felt. Like by the end, I kind of understood what was happening, but I certainly wasn't invested anymore. The second one in the trilogy is okay. Okay. I said I watched them. I watched the first one, and I was like, nope, not gonna do this. Oh, we gotta deselect Nightcrawler as well. Our radial grad is out of control. Just trying to like blend Strong Guy into the background. We're gonna continue to blend him into the background in a minute once we get a chance. Man, should we push like the left side of Cyclops into the background too? Maybe. There's gonna be a lot of like play and effects trying to get like just the foreground, middle ground, background correct on this. Shame because the trilogy had the coolest take on King Ghidorah, but the characters and pacing and the animation was just not up to snuff. Yeah, that was the thing, is like so much of that animation was like kind of bad, and I was just like, ugh. You know, I was like, I don't know if I want to watch the rest of this. And it's one thing when like animation from the 90s is bad, but when it's like brand new, like I guess. Let's try a thing. For anyone also just tuning in on this, we are working in RGB, which is different than CMYK. You can probably, if you have a keen eye, you could probably tell that from the grads that I was throwing in over here, the screen grads. They look really good because we're in RGB and we get extra colors to play with that we don't normally get. This is not built for print. We are in RGB. CMYK is for print. RGB is not. And what was I doing? Doesn't matter. Oh, right. We're going to try to push Strong Guy back a little bit. We're going to try to put some purple in here. So yeah, we get extra colors and stuff that we don't normally get in print. For the same reason, if your monitor is calibrated for print and you're watching this on that instead of like your phone or whatever, your tablet, it's going to look a little bright. This will look bright on a monitor that's calibrated for print, is what I'm saying. I wonder if we can see. So for example, this color that I'm about to use right here has a little exclamation point above it right here. That means that this color is not printable. It's not in the printable range. However, since we're in CMYK, who cares? Or we're in RGB. So it doesn't matter. We can do whatever we want. There's no rules here. There's one rule. We have to keep our shirt on. Other than that, we can do anything we want. I want to pull this stuff out. What layer is that? There we go. Thanks, Boix. What's up, man? I was just saying that, like, I got to get more into the habit of hosting people because I keep signing off and you're on, and I would like to give you followers or give you eyeballs, and like other people have hosted me, and I get so wrapped up in like promoting everything else that I'm working on that I forget to host. I'm just like not in the habit of it. Um, I'm not. I guess I'm just like not as much of like a hardcore streamer. Like I don't. Maybe I just don't do it enough. I don't know. There's all these like little things to streaming that like the average viewer probably isn't thinking about ever. Like, not only that stuff, rating takes making it a habit. Yeah, um, it's like rating, but it's also like it's rating, it's making emotes, it's like running polls. Like there's all these like little pieces of streaming that are um, not exactly, they take practice and they take goofing it up on the fly, before getting it right, that kind of stuff. um I don't know. All right, let's work on, wow, that's a crotch. Let's work on Psylocke, I guess. We're gonna lighten up her skin tones in general. Okay. Yeah, I was saying before, I was like, I'd finish the thing, promote everything else that was coming out or whatever, like Rough Cuts, the Godzilla episode, and then I'd be like, okay, I'm all done. I'm gonna sign offline, um, and then I'd be like, after I like import the video to YouTube and everything, and then I'd be like, oh shit, Boix is on. I should have rated him. I'm like, dang. There's something about the skin tone that I don't like in all of these, but I don't know what it is, and I'm struggling to fix it. Is it like too much yellow? No. Not enough yellow? Maybe. What if we took like a blue and just, maybe? I'm gonna try to push uh her right shoulder and arm back in the space a little bit eventually, but maybe we'll work on that in a second. We got to push all this smoke and stuff back too. I don't know. Let's get in there. Man, I started working on a book just recently. I'm working on this graphic novel. I keep trying to mention it, and then getting distracted. And the reason that I'm like stoked about it is because I'm doing like very loose painting on it, as opposed to this, which is like tighter uh, mainstream work. And I feel like the loose painting is like making me a better colorist. Like I feel like I needed to change up what I was doing just to like try something new, get out of my own headspace a little bit, like get out of the tried and true stuff. I'm doing like limited palette, no flatter, loose painting stuff. And it's pretty fun. It's pretty fun. I don't know how it's going to be. Like, I've just started it and I'm like 20 pages in. I don't know if it's still going to be fun when I'm at page 80, but like for now, it's a good time. Man, there was a Wonder Woman variant that just got announced that made me be like, man, I want to work on some like low there's like an emphasis on lighting on it, and it made her muscles look absolutely ripped. And I was like, fuck, I want to do something like that. I think I'm emotionally channeling that a little bit right now. Let's soften her face up just a bit. There's some like hard edged stuff going on here. Just a little bit. Can I get a good purple if I screen this? Yeah. A little bit. A little bit. Brighten it up. That looks wrong, but we're going to fix it. I think that the way Andy drew this, you kind of don't got to get bogged down in the costumes too much, because he's put so much like black and cross hatching in, which was the style at the time, that you don't have to worry about it too much. He's taking over for the colorist. Like I said, it was the style at the time, because it was kind of like this transition between at this time comics were in this transition between like artists were doing things still very traditionally, digital coloring was in its infancy, so people were drawing for more traditional color, like regular gosh, I don't even know what to call it. It's not like it's like the 256 colors that were like available to every colorist, and that was it. Like it was like not a lot of gradients, not a lot of digital color as we know it now. So people were drawing, even though digital color was coming up and people were proficient at it, and they were doing gradients and these powerful things with Photoshop, this new tool. They were still kind of drawing in a way where they were doing it for for these like older processes. It took a while for like things to kind of catch on. The style at the time. Can we get like a good multiply? Like a darker red? It's a little too much. This is a little out of control. Yeah, at the time, people were interested in more pouches, not digital coloring. They're like, how many patches can we put on this thing? Man, Jason and I are going to recap Night's Fall, Night's End, which, if you haven't read that, that's when Azrael takes over the mantle of Batman, and then Batman has to like take it back from him after getting his back broken. Oh man, talk about pouches and gear and all that dumb crap. Like by the end of it, Azrael is this like walking tank, but it's like he gets spoiler alert. Batman takes it back by just like making him go through a tiny space, and then Azrael has to take off all his gear, and then he just kicks his ass. Well, he doesn't kick his ass, but yeah, it's ridiculous when you think about it. It's like, oh, you can't fit in this tiny space. He has like Azrael makes these gauntlets, right? And they shoot like grappling hooks. They shoot like little bat shurikens, um, and they also have like bladed fingers. So he has knife hands. But the problem is he has these giant gauntlets, and then like there's a scene where he has to use a computer, and he's like hunting and pecking trying to get the computer to work because he has like zero dexterity. It's hilarious. Azrael is a hilarious character, and he doesn't realize it because it's all played so seriously. It's all played so seriously, and I'm like, I don't think you guys realize that like this is actually hilarious. Putting a little blue in the costume, maybe in her skin tone too, just to kind of balance it out, because it's so red. I don't know that we really have to go in. Man, Cyclops or Psylocke is such like an awkward situation here. She got relegated to the back cover, and I think there was a reason. She just looks a little weird. It all looks a little weird. Also, she's like, what, 40% thighs? Is that what you want? Is that what people wanted? I don't know. Maybe it is. How else will it carry his bat shark repellent? By the end of Nightfall, Night's End, Night's Quest, by the end of that event, Azrael's describing himself like a walking warship, and I'm like, in the 90s, that's exactly what they wanted. Thick thighs save lives. That's the idea. But I'm like, oh, Azrael, you've gone so far away from Batman. You are officially doing your own thing, I guess, bud. Man, I'm in a kind of conservative area, slightly rural, and there's a lady at the park the other day that had a shirt that said "Thick thighs save lives," and I was just like, oh, beans, that's hilarious. We did stream that giant woman game, so you know, all thighs, no feet. Now that's a choice. That's a we're I don't know what fetish that is. All thighs, no feet. That's like I like my women like to look like a Funko Pop. That's what I want. All right. There's a lot of mark making happening with all the skin. We're just going to fade that back, kind of make her look a little more feminine. Um, I forget that we're... Yeah. Just trying to make her look just like a little bit softer. Oh my god, could you imagine if they were like, here's our new mutant, and it was like a human being that turned into a Funko Pop, and it has that new X-Men recruit, brand new, first appearance, and it's like a walking Funko Pop. Like the absolute sheer horror of that. Could you imagine bumping into a Funko Pop in a dark alley? Like a human sized talking Funko Pop? Fucking terrifying. Also, who took it out of its box? Lost all its value? First appearance Joker's second Funko Pop. Yeah. We gave her that purple lipstick. I don't know if that was a good thing that we did, but we certainly did it. That's kind of like MODOK already. Yeah, you're not wrong. You take MODOK out of the suit, it's fucking horrifying. I kind of want to push back the marks like just a touch more. That's too much. Oh my god, Tango. Someone once tweeted, at this rate, life-size Funkos will replace tombstones in cemeteries and the imagery still haunts you. Yeah, that's cursed for sure. That is 1,000% cursed. Okay, so this rubble is ridiculous. And the reason it's ridiculous is because it's like half in smoke except for the one that she's holding on to. So we have to figure out how to get this to work right. Man, by the way, I've been thinking a lot about not a lot, but a little bit. So like Kevin Conroy passed away. And I've been thinking a little bit about kind of like death in general. And you know, people grieve in their own ways. That's fine. But like there was a lot of like Batman sad stuff going on, and it still is in my head about like how silly that is. It's like he led a full life, and like yes, he was the voice of Batman, but he was like also a human being, and he did other things. And I get that this was your only connection to him, but it's just like, oh my god, please, I don't need a comic about how sad Batman is. I don't know. I think I talked about that already on the pod or on the stream. All right, so we gotta figure out how to like push this one forward a little more. God, Funko Pop Cemetery. That is haunting. Sad boy Batman. Yeah. He's so sad. He's fictionally sad. All I'm saying is, when or if I die, and that's a big if, because so far, check the calendar, not in there. But when and if, please don't make any comics that are like, Wolverine's sad because Nick's not here anymore. Please don't. This whole area is so awkward. the boots, everything. Everything is incredibly awkward here. We're gonna figure this out eventually. We're gonna cover it with special effects. Your sad, strong guy tribute. There's nothing I can do about that. Look, I can't stop you from making anything. I'll be dead. So, you know. All I can do is voice my concern for this entire industry and the way people interact with media. That's all I can do. All right, let's work on. Is there anything I gotta do to Psylocke? Man, there's just like this weird shape. It looks a little phallic. Can we make it not that? What if we just made it not that? Now it looks like it's part of the rubble. Oh man, I don't think there's anything I can do about that. I think we're just gonna roll with it. Don't look at it. Don't think about it. That's the solution. All right, let's work on Nightcrawler. So red is a notoriously difficult color to work with, especially in CMYK, but we're in RGB, so hopefully red will be a little more pliable. Just gonna go in here with like 50%, kind of like tool around. Maybe play with the levels. We gotta deselect all these other red little things around here. The whole rest of this thing. Try to get a little darker. There we go. A little higher. Perfect. I don't think that this color is. Yeah, we're out of the printable gamut, which is fine, since this isn't going anywhere except for online. Let's work on his weird hands. His extremely weird hands. For some reason, I thought there was like a cloud puff around Nightcrawler in this one. Like he was like jumping out of his like little smoke teleport, but apparently not. I kind of got excited to like do some purple in there, but it's fine. We could paint it in, but like that's a lot of work for very little reward. I feel like. Nightcrawler was easy to do. He's basically done. All right, let's work on this like slab over here, and then we're gonna work on kind of doing some special effects down here. I kind of want to put some I kind of want to smoke out this area, like push it back a little bit under here too, kind of like make sense of this a little more as far as foreground, middle ground, background. We're gonna put some lights back here and just add some effects and stuff. So we're getting close, is what I'm saying. Not even gonna repeat that, Eric. Man, I know that Eric hangs out for the Fire Emblem streams. We're going to be streaming another Fire Emblem stream tomorrow, Saturday. I did not realize that in Radiant Dawn, you just get a new team. Like, I was very excited to use Jill, and then the game gave me Jill, and then it took Jill away. The game gave me a character that I liked, right? Didn't let me use her for 2 missions. Let me use her for 2 missions, and then took her away. And I'm like, what are we doing here, Fire Emblem? Maybe this is why nobody likes this game. It's one of the many huge flaws of that game. Yeah. Yeah, so like we're going to be playing tomorrow, but I was looking at it cuz I was like, "Oh, we're doing these like flying teams. It's Alencia and like the situation she's dealing with." And then I started like I read a little bit cuz it was like cuz I was like the reason I was looking at it was cuz I was like, "How far are we through this game?" Because it feels like we're making pretty steady progress. And then when I looked it up, it was like, oh, on this section, you'll have this team. And I'm like, wait, what? Wait, what? So now the team that I've invested in is now just gone. Like, we're just done with that team. And I'm like, this is no way to Fire Emblem. Like, how are you ever supposed to bond with your team? You know? You play the Dawn Brigade again later? It's so strange. But you won't like it. I can see why this game did not get great reviews. Just weird choices. I don't know. We're committed though. We're going to get through it. FF6 does something like that with splitting up parties. It's not so bad if it's done right. Yeah, I mean, I could understand if like the parties was like, you know, in Final Fantasy VI, they're like, we have 2 missions to do, and you got to split up your team to do these 2 missions because they got to both get done at the same time. And I actually really like that and then that gives you the choice of like, oh, are you going to who are you going to put in the first team and who are you going to put in the second team, and then you like can kind of strategize like what you want to do. In Dawn Brigade or Radiant Dawn, they're just like, and this part of the story is over, so anyway, now this team, it's like, Oh, we've changed games. Like I'm not even playing the same team anymore. Like this is just a new Fire Emblem game now. Okay, I guess. I kind of like that team. I grew to like them, and you took them away from me. Like FF6 puts the choice in your hands, and this game does. This game does not do that. This game is like we're gonna make the choice for you, which I think is a distinct difference. All right, let's start throwing down some effects, I guess. Can we grab just like all of the lights? Yeah, not Cable's face though. This stuff too? Not the foreground stuff. Just want the background stuff. Okay. It didn't grab this stuff. Did I select these at a later date? Maybe. Whew. Yeah, current plan for streaming games is to keep playing Final Fantasy VI, to keep playing Radiant Dawn, and to oh, that's why I didn't select that. All right, let's deselect that part, and then eventually we will get into the GBA. I am not selecting this correctly because I'm thinking about Game Boy Advance Fire Emblems. We're going to play the Game Boy Advance Fire Emblems. I'm pretty excited to do those because I played Sacred Stones back in the day, but I haven't played any of the other ones. Basically, it's like Art and Fire Emblem. That's the brand. When's GBA Shining Force? GBA Shining Force. Okay. I do want to play GBA Shining Force. You did send me that, and I do want to play it. But I do want to play. I want to get through all of Fire Emblem, meaning the GBA ones after this, and then I just bought. I just bought. I made a terrible purchase. Hold on. I gotta boot up this terrible purchase. It's gonna take me a second to find it. I bought from Japan in preparation for a stream. This awful device. I bought this terrible Resident Evil controller. It's supposed to be a gun on one side and a knife handle on the other. It's so stupid. Dragon Quest plug and play Sword TV. I do want to play that on stream too. I got high ideas for a lot of like RPG like things. Yeah, I bought this terrible thing just recently, and I want to play Resident Evil games. I'd like to play like my idea on stream is to chip away at they made you sit through a full minute long commercial. Guess who doesn't see any revenue from that? This guy. Zero revenue. Thanks, Twitch, for creating a barrier for people to watch. Fuck. Sorry about that, Ziggy. No skip button. Jeez. Egregious. But the plan is to play, like, I'm really interested in playing franchises, not just games. Unless you subscribe, but who wants to do that? I mean, you can subscribe. Amazon.com gives you, if you have a Prime subscription, you get a free subscription on Twitch. So you could subscribe for nothing with your Amazon.com Prime membership. Now, here's the good part. What do you get with your subscription? Absolutely nothing. Nothing extra. You get one emote that, like, I've kind of emotionally abandoned. You get that. And you can use that across any channel on Twitch. Resident Evil is exciting. Man, I'm very interested in Resident Evil. I started playing at 4. I played 4 and 5 and then dropped off at 6. So I've only played 4 and 5. I'm like kind of interested in playing the early stuff. You do that, but then you have to do it again every month, which means you have to remember it, which means you have to remember things. Yeah. No, I get it. I'm trying to fade this back because this whole situation is real weird with the smoke. So I'm like, please don't look at the smoke. Why bother playing past 5? You already punched that boulder. That's right. Press X to punch boulder. Resident Evil 6 has toilets the size of 3 human beings. That's reason enough to play. Should I do something with the optic blast? Maybe. Here's one of the problems with red in general. The color is that when you go lighter, it turns pink. So it's like I don't know, like, what to put in here. If not, just keep it red. What if we just keep it red? What if we made the red lines on it just red, so it's just one swath of color? We could try that. I'm less interested in what I refer to as Resident Evil's Dark Times, which is like 6 and 5, admittedly. 5 and 6 went off the rails. They were like, 4 is a good action game. We should make more action games. And then they just like went off the rails. I'm very interested in 1 to 3 and Code Veronica. Those games always seemed very unapproachable for me because of the tank controls. So I was like, I'll be bad at this, so I'm never going to try. Maybe like a white-red grad down the middle. I was thinking about that, but like, I don't know. It might just be like kind of a bold choice just to keep it red, you know? Okay, let's fix some of this. Oh, let's all of these lights. Can we select those? We can light these lights up. There we go. It's pulling all kinds of colors out of this thing. very curious about those early games that I was like too intimidated to try. And then the later Resident Evil games look absolutely totally terrifying. Like the remake of 2, Village, all that stuff. The one with the big lady, the giant woman, Eric. There'll be a giant woman in game. I know that's what you're here for. Will I install the mod that makes her hat bigger every time you see her? Yes. She's not 50 feet tall, but her hat will be by the end of the game. All right, what's a good way to select this? Is this everything that's not Wolverine? Looks like it. Can we deselect this rubble? Yeah. Okay. Get with the plaid on night. You got me you had me going for a second. First half of that comment, you're like, this is the one with Nightwing and plaid. The arrow's wrong. You screwed it up. Because I don't like. Can I just confess something on stream right now? I don't know a lot about the X-Men. Like outside of like the cartoon show that was on in the 90s, and then like the first arc of the Jim Lee run, I got nothing. And then like the movies, I'm wounding you. The cool movies where like Magneto is in the Statue of Liberty. That's what I know about X-Men. That's all you need to know, right? The pervert Bryan Singer's movies. That's the good stuff. Nope. Wait, no? Cyclops should be bare-chested. I mean, I don't disagree. Okay, now let's fix this grad. Probably get Chamber mixed up. Oh, wait, I read New Mutants by Sienkiewicz. I read that. I haven't read any Generation Next, so... But I know who Chamber is just because I used to draw him a lot when I was a kid. I was actually thinking, so Jason and I on World's Second Finest, we are talking Batman Adventures comic books. I was thinking about suggesting to Jason when we get finished with the Batman Adventures, when we've wrapped that up, we should either do a podcast of Claremont's run on the X-Men or Peter Laird's Incredible Hulk run, because I haven't read either of those. You like Cyclops and Wolverine in the X-Men cartoon because they gave him a trench coat? Yeah, that is cool. That's how you know he's cool. It's important when you clean stuff up like this. By the way, when you're doing comic book coloring, that like it's okay to get, this is something that like I used to be painstaking about. Like, let me get it pixel perfect. But you hate Cyclops and everything? Yeah. Man, Jason and I have been reading Nightfall, Night's Quest, Night's End, like I've been saying. And Tim Drake's dad. Whew. Some choices. Just the most unlikable character. Anyway. When you like erase stuff like this to kind of get it right, quote unquote right. Oh man, did we accidentally add a little red into Cyclops here? That's fine, I guess. I used to be like killing myself over trying to get it like pixel perfect, and you don't need to. You really, really don't. As long as it's close by your eye, it's probably fine. Because like no one reading the comic can zoom into the pixel. You know? So you get a little bit of leeway to play around. Okay, we're going to put kind of same grad. Oh, wait. Let's get this stuff. So it's like, okay, I missed that spot right there. Are you ever going to notice that spot? Probably not. So I must really like Identity Crisis. I don't know what Identity Crisis is. So yes. Is it a comic that features Tim Drake's dad? Oh, man. Tim Drake's dad. Awful. Man, they actually made, by the way, they actually made a comic book like that you would purchase a Robin comic book to be like, I'm gonna see what Robin's all about, you know? Back in the 90s, where it's a comic that features Tim Drake's dad being murdered. Man, couldn't happen to a worse character. There's a Robin issue that I read that came out in the 90s that is literally, okay, it's 22 pages. The first 8 pages is Robin and Bruce Wayne, or Tim Drake and Bruce Wayne, picking up Tim Drake's dad from the airport. That's what this comic is. Like an errand that no one wants to run. Fucking bonkers. Bruce Wayne saves Tim Drake's dad, by the way. That sounds like an awesome comic. Yeah. Bruce Wayne saves Tim Drake's dad. That's the thing that keeps him in the DC universe while Azrael is being Batman. He's like, I'm gonna go save Tim Drake's dad, and everyone's like, do you have to? That dude kind of sucks. It's Batman Family, but what if it's like, if it's slice of life silliness, sure, but instead it's like Bruce Wayne being like, maybe I won't be Batman, and Robin being like, Azrael's a little out of control, and he's like, I don't know, maybe I won't be Batman. And like it's just that for 8 pages, and then Tim Drake's dad shows up, and it's like, oh, he doesn't know I'm Robin, so we can't talk about that. So it's like, how was the flight? It's like you're reading, it's mind numbing, and then it's like we got to show them hailing a cab and driving to the house, and I'm just like, fucking, what are we reading? What I'm saying is, the 90s were a wild time for comic books. I'm sensing I can steer this conversation back to Guy Gardner with his robot arm. Guy Gardner warrior. Man, I've been trying to wrap my head around Green Lantern, but I had to abandon that, Ziggy. I am no longer on the Guy Gardner train, and uh, it's because I was saying at the beginning of the stream, I'm trying to figure out Zero Hour, because we're up to those issues on the podcast, which happens like right after Night's Quest, Night's End, Nightfall, and oh man, those 0 hours, kind of a beast to figure out. It's a lot of comic books. Man, I feel like Nightcrawler is not getting his due in this image. I feel like we kind of pushed him back in a way. Let me think on that while we work on Green Lantern's better the more. So you're saying pre-rebirth. So you're saying, uh, are you reading every Zero tie-in? I was thinking about it. 0 hours, 4 issues. You're correct. However, it starts in Showcase number 8, Showcase number 9, and then it has like all basically every DC book that came out that month that was in mainline continuity. So like everything that's not like Conan, or I don't even know if Conan's a Marvel thing. Um, every issue that's not Doom Patrol was like, hey, this is a 0 hour issue, and I was thinking about like trying to really dig into that, like read them all, you know, because why not? I got the DC app for a reason. It's to read these terrible comics. I'm not really hyping it up very well. We gotta just clean this up. I'm gonna make just a new layer on top of everything, because I don't want to like try to figure out what layers what. I just want to like paint over this basically. Tie-ins are always 87% crap. You would just read the 4 issues. Thank you for that bit of advice and permission, because I'm also trying to read all of Morrison's Doom Patrol for that episode, and that's 40 issues in and of itself. I don't know if I'll get to finish that or not, but I won't get an achievement. I'll get a self achievement. My here's why I was thinking about reading all of 0 hour, because since I'm reading it for the podcast, there's got to be some really terrible 0 hour stuff in there, which I think would be decent fodder for the podcast. That's the plan, really. For anyone who doesn't know, 0 hour was a mandated kind of event from Warner Brothers after Crisis did really well. They decided they were going to do a Crisis in Time now. And the Crisis was the multiverse. Um, and so they were like, now we're going to do that, but a Crisis in Time for these heroes. And I also, part of the reason why I'm like, oh, I should read that stuff was because I also am trying to wrap my mind around Green Lantern. And it seems like a pretty big Green Lantern thing to like read 0 hour and understand it, because you know it's what's his face doing everything, Parallax. We should defund the Green Lanterns. Oh my god, they've killed a lot of people. Let's be honest. Rogue space cops. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've watched some like YouTube vids on 0 hour, so I kind of know what's going on with it. Um, they they did a lot of like, one of the things I really don't like about 0 hour is when they reset the Green Lanterns and kind of like tried to go back to, so in 0 hour they kill the core, and or in the Green Lantern in the lead up to 0 hour they kill the core, and then like there's no more core of Green Lanterns. It's like just Kyle Rayner and Alan Scott, and like that's it. And Alan Scott isn't really even part of the core. Um, and then at some point they bring the core back, and they bring back like a lot of Green Lantern stuff, including in order to make Hal Jordan a hero again. They're like, oh, actually, Parallax was a creature that infected Hal Jordan in his grief for his city. So they just like neuter that whole arc by being like, actually, it wasn't Hal Jordan's fault he was evil. It was just the way it is. I kind of hate that. Like, just let Hal Jordan be a bad guy. Yeah, yeah, it's okay to read a comic and be like, I don't have to read this other thing. I get that. Yeah, I might skip around. I might start reading like all of them and then be like, get into like the Hawkman 0 hour issue and be like, you know what? I'm good. No offense to all the Hawkman heads out there. I know y'all come correct, right? Right? There's like what, four of you, right? Anyone? No Hawkman fans? Okay. I'm gonna put a little bit of. It was like 14 years between Emerald Twilight and GL Rebirth. They let Hal have his time as the bad guy. Yeah, for sure. I think the issue is not that I'm like, they didn't let Hal Jordan like be the bad guy long enough. It's that like, I think that for me, I it feels like Hal was the most interesting when he was Parallax, and that I don't really care for Hal Jordan in general. So like Parallax to me was interesting, and then like once he was once he was the Spectre, I was kind of like not really into it, and then like I'm just like not a Hal Jordan fan in general. Um, so I think that's part of it. Where I'm like, yeah, kill him off, make him the bad guy. I think that's what's actually happening here. Not that he didn't deserve to come back or whatever, but I understand that people are Hal Jordan fans. More Harvey Birdman fans than Hawkman fans? I'm a Harvey Birdman fan. He's an attorney at law. Also, I don't know if y'all have watched Bird Girl, which is like the Harvey Birdman spinoff. It's so fucking good. If you enjoy the new Harlequin show, you will love Hawk Girl or Bird Girl as well. It doesn't have the same effect when you read the two stories a month apart. Yeah, you're probably right. Because I'm like, oh, Zero Hour, whatever. Now I'm done. Now I'm reading GL Rebirth. Like, oh man, they really just like couldn't let him sit. It's like, no, they let him sit for a long time. I'm just reading them at an accelerated rate. I did enjoy Bird Girl. I was just saying. Do I have to watch a lot of Harvey Birdman to enjoy Bird Girl? No, you can just jump in. It's standalone. Man, I want to like add this same highlight to the tail, but I feel like we got to do it like on the blacks. Oh, the Harley Quinn special was very very good. The Halloween Valentine's Day special. Yeah, we actually I saw that it was added, and I was like Shannon, we should wait and watch that on Valentine's Day. So we did. We watched it the other day. It's great. I don't want to spoil anything for you. It's very good. You should watch it sometime. It was far more lewd than I thought it was going to be. Season 3 had some choppy animation. I didn't mind it. Like that show is about the banter, not about necessarily like super fluid animation. And like when it needed to be fluid, it was good. I don't know what I'm doing with this hair. Let's stop messing with the hair. All right, I kind of want to add some like embers burning. Let me see if I have any embers in Bridge. I do. I have a bunch. We're gonna open those. I also have some like weird lights that might look good as a texture, like on top of it. Not prisms. Where are these other light textures that I was using? Sorry, I know this is not exactly great to watch, but I want to pull this up. Oh, here they are. And we're back. You're glad to hear it's very lewd. Felt like season 2 and 3 toned it down from season 1. They really push it in the special, for sure. So I kind of have these like lens flare things that like have some like dust and stuff. We're going to see about maybe just dropping it in, setting it to screen, seeing how it looks. This is going to be like kind of just experimenting. We don't necessarily even have to keep this stuff if we don't want to. Or maybe we'll keep some of it. Like obviously we don't want it like on top of some of our characters like this. And like there's a weird crease here, so we're gonna pull that back. When I suggested to, but it's like it adds a little bit of dust, like little specks and stuff. Adds like a little layer. Oh man, I gotta fix some of this around the shapes here. We'll fix some of that, but it adds a little bit of character to it. This one's maybe a little too bombastic. I haven't found a good. I love the shapes in this, but I haven't found a good place for this yet. Will we find a place for it here? Maybe. Maybe not. Maybe not. That's a hard to use one. Yeah. Hard one to use for sure. Like, I think it's cool, but like, I don't know where it goes. Without, I don't know. It's not going to work here. It's not going to work. Oh, we got to put lights in the buildings too back there. Let's close that one. Close that one. Here's some burning embers. We're going to see if we can get these to look good. The problem with stuff like this is that it's going to show up on like a darker background, but not really. It's going to be tougher to get it to work on a lighter background. But we're just kind of like trying to add some visual noise. Because it's like a chaotic scene and like there's particles and blah 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 blah. We're blowing up these textures to a ridiculous amount. It's fine. Don't look at it. It's fine. See, it works. It works. Because it's not the focus. So they're like a little blurry. They're a little blurry, but I feel like when we eventually like shrink this thing down, we'll get it kind of right. Like it once we shrink the thing down to start posting it on like Twitter and social media and co-host and all that stuff, then this stuff will look fine. I don't know if I would blow up a texture like that if I was making something for print. Maybe I would. I don't know. I'm a wild card. What else do we have? Oh, this terrible thing. So this is something that like Adobe stock sometimes do, where they trick me and they're like, hey, this one's transparent, and then I download it and I'm like, you just gave me a fucking checkerboard background. Like, what am I going to do with this? I don't know. All right, let's clean some of this up. is this the culprit of like all the... Oh, now we're playing what layer is doing what. Not that layer. That layer is the lights. That's bad. Yes, it is. I think that like so some of the Adobe stock stuff, it'll be like it'll give me an option of like Illustrator document or JPEG, and like I always select or like TIFF, and I always select JPEG or TIFF because like I'm working in Photoshop. You submit a lot of stock stuff, and what they refuse is really picky. Where do you submit to? So like the Illustrator document, I'm sure has all the different elements on multi like fucking vector shit, and okay, so it's these two. All right, we're just gonna to Adobe, Shutterstock, etc. Yeah. But Adobe's really picky. You know what else gets through on Adobe, Cam? I've started noticing a lot of fucking AI art. Well, of course the JPEG won't be transparent. Yeah. Well, I mean, like a PNG would. Like that's what I assume I'm downloading, and then it'll be like .jpeg, and I'm like, fuck. But the yeah, I'm seeing a lot of like AI art lately in Adobe stock, which is like kind of bullshit. Oh man, I'm like, oh man, should we push all of the rubble forward? I guess. What if we just? I'm realizing that this is a bigger problem than I thought it was. What if we just merge it, screen it, and then mask it so we don't have to necessarily deal with all the bullshit? I don't want to get too perfect with it because I just don't think it's worth spending my time there. So we're just going to do it this way. Where you choose to put your time is important. And it looks good enough. Wolverine's got a little dot in his nose. How did that happen? Yeah, I've been noticing like every once in a while I'll browse stock photos. Stock photos are really good not only for like stuff like this where I'm trying to add texture or whatever, but stock photos are also really great for just like inspiration. Just like, you know, I need to paint a sunset. Like I go into Adobe stock, and I'm just like, give me, you know, 100 sunsets, and like I'll kind of go from there. Should we even bother like with the cityscape? I mean, maybe not. Maybe not. Let's do last minute, just like adjust the layers just a little bit, or adjust the levels, because I always end up doing this, just like a little tweak to make sure that the highlights are high and the lows are low, because a lot of times I can I get so focused that I don't come at it with fresh eyes, and I realize that it's a little dull when it shouldn't be. So this is a little dull, a little not dull. So yeah, I use Adobe Stock for a lot of stuff like that. And then so I'll be like, okay, I have to draw a mad scientist or something like that, or like I need inspiration for that when I'm like working on my own stuff. And then I'll go in there and it'll be like 40 AI made mad scientists. I could tell they're AI made because the eyes won't line up and the ears won't line up, and like it just, but it's like hyper detailed, and I'm just like, oh my god, the fucking worst. Um, I think we're done with this. By the way, I'm gonna do a quick little signature, right on top of Andy Kubert's. Guess what? I'm the focus now, Andy. No, I'm gonna do it right underneath. I think we're good. I liked how this came out. The next art stream, by the way, if you want to see this on not filtered through Twitch, then it's going to be on Instagram, Twitter. I'm going to drop it in the Discord, my own Discord, of course. The links are below. I'm going to put it on co-host. I'm going to put it on Tumblr. So whatever media outlet you subscribe to, it'll go somewhere within 24 hours or so. I'm probably not going to do it right now, right this second, but yes, I'm going to put it on VHS. I'm going to hit LiveJournal, Dead Journal, MakeOutClub.com, Facebook, everywhere. I'm going to put it everywhere. Newfound appreciation for Strong Guy? Not so much. Yeah, it's going to go everywhere. So you can check it out there. The next stream we're going to do is going to be a portfolio review. We got a very promising portfolio dropped into the Discord. If you would like a portfolio review, you should hop into my Discord. Just drop the portfolio. There's no need to buy anything or sign up for anything. There's no paywall. I'm just trying to help people out who are getting into comic book coloring. If you want to get into comic book coloring, you got a portfolio you want me to check out, I will definitely give you my thoughts. I will treat it like a professional portfolio, though. So, if you're like, I'm trying things and I don't know, that's fine too. You can drop it in to the portfolios for review channel, but just be like, hey, maybe don't do this one on stream. Maybe we could just have a conversation. I'm open to that too. If you want to check out more stuff from me, I just got featured on the podcast, Rough Cuts. They watched bad movies with good boys. We watched Godzilla 98. I watched it with Ilion, who is in the chat, who also streams. You should subscribe to him. And Boix, who is in the chat, you should subscribe to him as well. Follow him on Twitch and social media and everything. And then, yeah, I think that's all I got to say. Also, World's Second Finest. Everybody knows about that. MySpace and the Ask Jeeves message boards. Yeah, look for me over there. That's what you need to do, is look for me on MySpace and Ask Jeeves. Anyway, I'll upload this everywhere within 24 hours or so. I'm probably going to sit this Friday night, hang out with my lovely partner, and chit chat and watch her play some Stardew. Maybe watch a thing. But tomorrow morning I'll put this everywhere for you. Thanks for watching.